in a perfect world, if you could go down the mountain and the bike is doing all the work, the bike's under you and your head is like a phantom head floating down the trail, not moving at all. And the bike's just and your bike and your body's just moving all underneath you. And so now your head's up, you're not getting jostled around, and your eyes are forward. And that's what you were just starting to touch on, is the importance of having your eyes up 1, 2, 3, 4 moves ahead to let your brain computer, which is super fast, process what needs to be done. But if you're only looking right in front of you, then that's all your brain has time for.
Actually, before we get into that, another reason why I'm so upright is to see far ahead. Like I'm a pretty short person. So, if I get down to that really low attack position, and I think the best way that I can describe this, but the best way that I can describe this is your attack position. If I watch you and I look at the videos of you, like your attack position, when you get really into the chunk, like into the heavy stuff, your back is, like completely. Yeah, I'm doing this on camera, like people can see me, but like imagine you're just completely bent over, and you're at almost at like a 90-degree angle, like your back. I mean, it's not, but it's darn close.
Listener, don't imagine me being bent over that much. I don't know what he's talking about. On the bike. No, on the bike. Yes. Good. We have something in here for everybody. We have me with Carla, and we have me being bent over.
Hey now. Oh my goodness. But I find when I do that, when I'm that low, it's really hard for me to.
Have you tried that? I never asked you that if you've tried getting low.
Yeah, I have tried that, and it doesn't work for me because I can't push the bike the way I want to push it. If I'm already that low, if my back is bent that low, then my arms are also in a 90-degree angle, and it doesn't allow me to compress the shocks the way that I want to compress a shock, especially with my upper body. Like with the lower body, you could still drive your feet through the features, but for me, if I'm starting up higher, I can really use my arms and compress into the turns, compress into.
It's really interesting.
The different rocks.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. It's kind of hard to explain, but yeah. Okay. Good.
I don't know. Listener, let us know if you understand what Sage is saying. I think I do. And it's interesting because I've been riding my backyard pump track, and every time I ride it, I won't say every time, but I'm just very cognitive of my position and what is helping me to get the really good pump, to really get that like consistent and to be able to speed up. So on the pump track, you're getting low into in between the humps and between the bumps and then you're getting heavy in between and light at the top and then heavy. And so you're using your arms and knees and the higher I go, if I really emphasize, because I'm good at getting low, if I really emphasize getting high at the top and then getting low at the bottom, man, it just like unlocks a ton of speed. And so that's what you're talking about, is now you can pump the trail.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, there is some magic in there. I'm very jealous that you do that intuitively. Like that's something I have to put a lot of attention into. Listener, let us know. How are you at pump tracks, or how are you at pumping the trail? Do you get low? Do you get low enough? I often say to other people that I ride with that ask me for tips, like Stick and Matt, is get low and lower. However low you think you are, it's not that low. Actually, you can actually get a lot lower. Yeah. And it just gives you so much more room for mistakes and to let that bike move underneath you. But if you're confident enough to get high and low and to be pumping features on the trail, not a pump track's easy to pump technical, to pump over rocks and roots and washed out turns and flat turns, to be able to start pumping that sort of thing on the turn. Boy, that's got to feel awesome. That's got to be very magical. And that's why you are such a fast rider, I think, on a lot of these downhills.
Oh, thanks, Danny.
Yes, you're welcome.
I don't know what to say to
that. All right, so eyes up. The next one that I have is the hip hinge, which I don't know if it's something that you do or not, but it's something that you'll hear a lot in mountain bike videos,
you do.
and I know Lee Likes Bikes talks about this all the time. He really, and as part of the Ripro, which I purchased one, is to practice that and to get strong in that move. And so if you're squatting and your quads are lighting up, then you're doing it wrong. You want to have your legs bent, but really you're hinging at your hips, and it's more of a hamstring stretch, and you're going to feel it more in your hamstrings than anything else. And it really unlocks a lot of potential especially going downhill. You're going to get tired nowhere near as quickly. You're going to burn your legs out fast if you're in a squat, which is how I rode for a long time. And then I learned how to hip hinge, and I can go a lot longer. You still get tired, of course, but and then it gives you a lot of room in your legs. It gives you a lot of suspension with your legs, and now you're hinged at your hips. And I like to have that nice straight back, as Sage said, and you lock up your core, and your arms are moving, and your legs are moving, and then the bike's moving under you, and then the bike's doing what it's supposed to do because it's centered, and the weight is in the right place, and things start to feel really good. So definitely recommend the hip hinge. Not something that you really ever think about, is it?
I don't think I hip hinge. Yeah. I honestly don't think I hip hinge.
But you don't get tired on downhills either.
No. The only thing that I'll say on a downhill is sometimes after like the first 2 or 3 runs, my hands will hurt because I'll forget to like loosen up my grip. Like usually like when we get to like Mountain Creek or Blue Mountain, the first 2 runs, I'll notice my forearms just start to burn, and I have to be like, oh, what am I doing here? I'm just like, I'm death gripping this thing. And it's like, no. I don't want to say loosen up your grip because obviously you have to grip, but like you don't have to. If your knuckles are white, then you are gripping too hard. Like that's
fear.
You don't need to do that.
Fear.
Yeah, fear.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do it all the time. It's called arm pump when your wrists or your forearms are just killing you. And it happens all the time at the bike park, and because all you're doing is riding downhill. But I absolutely know what you're talking about. So so you do get arm pump, but you don't get really fatigued anywhere else.